Right then, this is a quick walk around video. This is for a really lovely Honda Jazz 64 plate 1.4 EX automatic finished in white, which looks absolutely stunning on these cars. Car's covered just 54,000 miles from new, is in really lovely condition, fully serviced from new as well, very well looked after. Always look good in white, black trims and grille, big glass roof which is black as well, all offsets it, looks really lovely. Car's very clean indeed. Apologise for that, someone just drove or was just about to drive by. So coming to the front of the car, lights and lenses are clear and intact without any cracks or condensation. Bonnet very clean indeed, can't see any obvious indentations there at all. Coming down the near side of the car, again, these are really good looking cars. There's no sort of major sort of scratches that I can see on the car or chips that are immediately obvious. Back of the car again, all nice and clean and tidy. Offside of the car, again, lovely and smooth. And no obvious marks that sort of jump out at you at all. By the way, it is in the shade today. The reason being, as I always say, is that it's a beautiful day. It's actually very cold this morning. But in direct sunlight, it just glares at you, so you can't see any sort of obvious sort of marks or imperfections that jump out. But there's nothing immediately obvious on there. That's a really nice example, I have to say. Coming to the boot area now, beautifully kept, I have to say, and a really good sized boot for this size of car. I mean, it really is cavernous. You've got some extra stowage under the little these areas here. If I sort of pull this up, that all comes up together, so you've got loads of extra storage hidden underneath as well. Coming to the back of the car now, I mean, it's incredible the amount of room you get in these. This is like a car from 3 sizes up. There's actually more room in the back of these than in a Honda Accord. It's incredible. And those front seats, by the way, are set for me, and I'm over 6 foot tall, so I'm not cheating. And it's been kept very nicely. You obviously get the magic seats, so if you want to, those kind of tilt up and lock in place, and they also drop down and concertina down to go absolutely flat. Coming to the front of the passenger side, again, all very clean and tidy, full set of original Honda mats, all been kept very well indeed. Finally coming to the front, again, door card, all very good. You always get a bit of sort of light marking just on here where people sort of bracelets and rings and anything else might sort of catch on them, but it's for the age and mileage, it's incredibly clean and tidy. So inside the car now, interior and dashboard, and again in just absolutely beautiful condition. They really are a lovely place to sit and drive and operate a car, I have to say. Come to the main dash binnacle for you and pan in. Hopefully you can see 54,110 miles. The only warning light for the information light there is what you can see, low fuel, obviously with a bit of fuel. That soon extinguishes itself, but it has been kept very nicely. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Jazz 1.4 EX automatic. This car is registered NL64RZJ, and the mileage of just 54,103 recorded. The reason we do all of our videos, and actually especially this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they actually get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. The reason we feel it's important, always have done, is that like many people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out it's got an obvious fault that shows up whilst driving the car. So hence that's why we do it. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this absolutely beautiful part of Gloucestershire. This actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, by the way, so hopefully it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, first of all, an apology, it's a beautiful winter's day. Unfortunately, that also means the sun's incredibly low and a bit glary, so it's going to be slightly glary on the video, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Yeah, coming to the car, I bought it direct from the customer. been a very, very well looked after car in every way. It's not been cleaned yet. It's going to be cleaned before it's sold, although it is very clean, I have to say. It's just the lightest of wiping down will be required. But yeah, it's been loved mechanically. It feels it straight away as soon as you drive the car, in all honesty. First of all, also, this is the first Jazz we've had in a long time, and we specialise in Honda cars, but for some reason we just don't be able to get the Jazzes that we want, and we never have done. So it's always nice to jump back in one. It's a stark reminder of just how good these things are. They really are exceptional cars. To go through the car for you, starting with the engine, which starts instantly, settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Typical Honda 4-cylinder engine in the sense that it's absolutely brilliant. It's smooth, it's quiet, it's refined, it's economical, incredibly tough and reliable as well. It is a joyful thing. Mated to the automatic CVT gearbox, which suits the car absolutely brilliantly. Being a CVT, and a really good version of one of these as well, by the way, it means you've got this incredibly kind of seamless delivery of its power. It's just so soothing. There's no kind of jolting or indecisiveness between gears, because it can't. It, as it says, it's constantly variable, so there is no gear change as such. It all operates absolutely perfectly, as you'd expect in any Honda car. But it's something that you really enjoy driving, especially people tend to notice with these kind of low speed manoeuvres and everything, how that lack of kind of jolting that you get from the gearbox when you pull away from junctions like now, you put your foot down and go. You'd get a gear change by now, or another one by now, and this one you don't. You put your foot down and engine revs pick up and the car kind of catches up with it. If you're really brutal with the throttle pedal, what happens once in a blue moon if you want to do an overtake, obviously the revs will rise more sharply, so you can hear the engine revs there, but you tend to back the throttle off to kind of catch up with it. It's how you're meant to do it. It becomes second nature very quickly, but it is brilliant. So coming to the steering, first and foremost, the track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. It's also a really lovely power steering setup. It's very nicely weighted. It's got kind of a lot of small cars, manufacturers tend to go kind of like city steering, so horribly overlight, which means when you get up to speed like now, they can feel you're just horribly devoid of feel or substance. This one has that. It makes the car feel kind of hefty and solid, which it is. It's a beautiful piece of engineering, but the steering is very much part of that. It's also incredibly accurate and precise. Where you point it, it's exactly where the car goes, and it works in harmony with the chassis absolutely superbly. The chassis itself, again, the ride it gives is so polished, so comfortable. You just know that if you're just tootling around town, it'd be brilliant, but also on the open road it deals with kind of minor imperfections very, very well indeed, but also allows the car to sort of flow through corners in terms of the handling of the car in a very confident manner. These aren't, and no getting away from it, it isn't a sports car, but it has a more dynamic edge to it than certainly a lot of its competitors, but it's not, that's not its design criteria, if you like. This section of road I'm going over now, which is like the surface of the moon, is awful, but it rides it brilliantly well. There's no clonks or rattles at all from the suspension. The whole car is absolutely as tight as a drum in every single way. I'm just going to go up to speed and give the brakes a bit of a thump, make sure no one is directly behind me. So that's a fantastic brake pedal on the car, lovely and solid. It's very sort of confidence inspiring when you put the foot on the brake pedal. There's no kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal at all, which is again what you want to be looking for, and there's none of that. Finally, coming inside the car, what I've always loved, especially about the EX models, you've got this massive glass panoramic roof, which obviously has a electric blind that can covers it up if needs be. But it adds a lot of light. The greenhouse area, or the glass area in the car, is the first thing that strikes you. You've got amazing visibility, massive windscreen, the little inserts into the by the A and B pillars, A pillar rather, sort of all blends. It means when you're on the road, you just got this incredible panoramic view out of the car, which is why they're so nice on the open road. You feel very, very confident, changing lane or just manoeuvring around. But when you're sat in the car, the first thing that actually strikes you is, in some ways, how grown up the car feels, because it feels very solid on the road. Typical Honda build quality, beautifully put together car. So there's kind of no squeaks, no rattles. Everything you touch and feel and press and hold has a feeling of engineered substance to it. Way more so than pretty much anything else in its class, which is why they are relatively dear second hand, because they are built to a different standard. But it's also a lovely place to sit. You've got perfect driving position, so everything's absolutely exactly as it should be. Anyone can get comfortable, even the very tall people, because the space is ridiculous. It's for a small car. The dash design, joy of joys, is just so simple. Nice big, easy to use radio, simple to use climate control system, which pumps out lovely cold air, by the way. We checked that in a warm workshop earlier. All the switch gears always with the Hondas, beautiful actuation to it. But the beauty of it is anyone can just get in and drive the car. You just put it into gear, you can use the radio. It's like a big Fisher Price thing. It's just bang bang, buttons, easy. There's no kind of having to go into menus and be distracted as you're meant to be driving. Dash binnacle, again, typical Honda, just simple, easy, legible dials, really nicely presented as always. And then you've got this lovely leather-bound steering wheel, which feels absolutely super in hand. These are lovely, absolutely lovely cars. You can see why, as I said, they are genuinely so sought after, because it does feel as though it's from a division or two above, rather than being kind of a small hatch as such, because it feels as well engineered as a Honda Accord in terms of kind of build and durability and everything else. I can't fault it in any way. Drives absolutely perfectly. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.